Welcome back to another console collector video. Hey everybody, console collector here. Today we're going to take a look at every North American Legend of Zelda game in the franchise. So to simplify this, we're going to leave out things such as ports, like The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past 4 Swords on Game Boy Advance, HD remakes such as The Wind Waker HD, 3D remakes such as the Ocarina of Time 3D remake and Majora's Mask 3D remake, special pack-ins such as Ocarina of Time Master Quest, and variations such as the Metroid Prime Zelda Wind Waker combo. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at every North American Legend of Zelda game in the franchise. We're going to kick off this list here with the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. Now this is, I guess, a console, but it's also a game, and it's Zelda. As you can see here, it's officially branded Zelda Game & Watch. Next up, we have the Legend of Zelda on the NES. I really like on this one how you get a little peek of the cartridge through the little window there. Truly a classic game. Next up, The Adventure of Link. Again, has the cool little window. This is known as the black sheep of the Legend of Zelda series. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Personally, this is my favorite Zelda game of all time. This is definitely a must-play. Next up, we have the iconic Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This here is the collector's edition. It did come out in a standard edition as well. This was the gold cartridge version. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This is the gold cart edition as well, which they all came in gold cart, but this particular one had the holographic cartridge opposed to the standard label. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure, a really awesome multiplayer Zelda game, styled in the graphics of A Link to the Past, as you can see there. This one is another one of my favorites. It's a lot of fun to get 4 friends together and just do some couch co-op. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. The cartoon cel-shaded classic on the Nintendo GameCube. And we have The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which was released all on the GameCube as well as the Wii. This was essentially the successor to Ocarina of Time. Realistic visuals. You see Midna and Wolf Link. There's an HD remake of Twilight Princess on the Wii U as well. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I would think this is the black sheep of the Zelda franchise. I feel like this one gets way more hate than Adventures of Link. And we also have on the Wii, Link's Crossbow Training. You'll be the master of the Wii Zapper. Not a very good game, to be honest. Alright, let's move on to some handhelds. Starting off, we have The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This is the DX version for the Game Boy Color, which basically is slightly improved, more dungeons. So there's a standard Link's Awakening and then the DX version. For those that don't know, in Breath of the Wild, Outset Island is based on the island in Link's Awakening. Next up, the two games that kind of went the same route as Pokemon. Two games to enjoy the adventure. The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons and The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. These games are styled directly after Link's Awakening, but with color. Same button layout. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. This one kind of flew under the radar. You don't hear many people talk about it, but it's actually really good. Similar layout to A Link to the Past. Link was hanging out with Caps before Mario in Mario Odyssey. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks on the Nintendo DS. Following The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass on the Nintendo DS. Then we have The Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds. This is very similar style to A Link to the Past as well. Next up we have The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. This plays very similar to the Four Swords Adventure on GameCube. I played this with a couple friends. It's very good as well. Not quite as fun, in my opinion, as Four Swords Adventure, but still pretty good game. Next up, we have Hyrule Warriors. Came out on the Wii U, the 3DS, and the Definitive Edition on the Nintendo Switch. I personally didn't overly enjoy Hyrule Warriors, but my opinion is also tainted by Fire Emblem Warriors. I feel like that is a much better game. So this is basically the Dynasty Warriors style Zelda game. By all means, it's not bad. It's fun. I just think Fire Emblem Warriors is better. So yeah, many options to play Hyrule Warriors out there. Finally, we have the most recent version of The Legend of Zelda, and that is, of course, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which came out together on the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Wii U. Similar to the way Twilight Princess did the whole GameCube Wii. Outstanding game. Not much else to say about Breath of the Wild. It's virtually perfect. Such an amazing game, and if you're one of the few people that haven't played this, stop this video and go play it. A little Easter egg note here is there is a misprint version, which is the original version, which says you have all these different controller options on the Wii U, which is a lie. You can't use all those controllers. So that's Breath of the Wild. Now, before you guys flood the comments with, hey, you didn't get all the Zelda games, I saved the best, or I should say, the worst for last. So, you may know where I'm going with this. We have Link on the CDI, the Faces of Evil. That's right, they're Zelda games. Nobody talks about them, but they exist. Ganon and his minions, hey? This is the infamous one with the absolutely awful cutscenes. They're so bad they're fun though. They're funny. These games aren't as bad as people say. They're definitely the worst Zelda games out there, but it's kind of a fun little curiosity game. I got my CDI strictly to play these games. So that's Faces of Evil. Next up, we got Zelda, the Wand of Gamelon. This one is the same essentially as Faces of Evil, but you're playing as Zelda. Same awful cutscenes. So those are the two Zelda CDI games. But of course, there's one more. Just like the Triforce, there's 3. And it's known as the Triforce of crap. And of course, I'm talking about Zelda's Adventure on the CDI. This one is a big departure from the other two. This is the live action cutscene, top down, similar to Zelda and A Link to the Past style, but way worse. My opinion, this game is worse than the other two. I tried playing this and I don't know what I'm doing. There's no direction. It's just not fun. Straight up, it's not a fun Zelda game. So that's it. That's the Legend of Zelda Triforce of crap. Put them on shot here. So I want to know, what are your favorite Zelda games? What are your least favorite Zelda games? For me, like I mentioned, A Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda game. And I'd say my least favorite, if we don't include the Triforce of crap, would probably have to be Skyward Sword. I just couldn't get into it. The controls killed it for me. Alright, so that's going to wrap up this video. I want to thank everybody for watching. I am the Console Collector. And until the next video, happy gaming.